war in heaven. It was the highest crime to rebel against the government of God. All heaven seemed in commotion. The angels were marshaled in companies, each division with a higher commanding angel at its head. Satan was warring against the law of God because ambitious to exalt himself and unwilling to submit to the authority of God's Son, heaven's great commander. All heavenly host was summoned to appear before the Father to have each case determined. Satan unblushingly made known his disaffection that Christ should have preference over him. He stood up proudly and urged that he should be equal with God and should be taken into conference with the Father and understand his purposes. God informed Satan that to his Son alone he would reveal his secret purposes, and he required all the family of heaven, even Satan, to yield him implicit, unquestioned obedience, but that he, Satan, had proved himself unworthy of a place in heaven. Then Satan exultingly pointed to his sympathizers, comprising nearly one half of all the angels, and exclaimed, "These are with me. Will you expel these also and make such a void in heaven?" He then declared that he was prepared to resist the authority of Christ and to defend his place in heaven by force of might, strength against strength. Good angels wept to hear the words of Satan and his exalting boast. God declared that the rebellious should remain in heaven no longer. Their high and happy state had been held upon condition of obedience to the law which God had given to govern the high order of intelligences. But no provision had been made to save those who venture to transgress his law. Satan grew bold in his rebellion and expressed his contempt of the Creator's law. This Satan could not bear. He claimed that angels needed no law, but should be left free to follow their own will, which would ever guide them right. That law was a restriction of their liberty, and that to abolish law was one of the great objects of his standing as he did. The condition of the angels, he thought, needed no improvement. Not so the mind of God, who had made laws and exalted them equal to himself. The happiness of the angelic host consisted in their perfect obedience to the law. Each had his special work assigned him, and until Satan rebelled, there had been perfect order and harmonious action in heaven. Then there was war in heaven. The Son of God, the Prince of Heaven, and his loyal angels engaged in physical conflict with the arch rebel, and those who united with him. The Son of God and true, loyal angels prevailed, and Satan and his sympathizers was expelled from heaven. They were kicked out. All the heavenly host acknowledged and adored the God of justice. Not a taint of rebellion remained in heaven. All was peaceful and harmonious as before. Angels in heaven mourned the fate of those who had been their companions in happiness and bliss. Their loss was felt in heaven. The Father and consulted his Son in regard to at once carrying out their purpose to make man to inhabit the earth. He would place man upon probation to test his loyalty before he could be rendered eternally secure. If he endured the test wherewith God saw fit to prove him, he should be equal with the angels. He was to have favor with God, and he was to converse in with the angels.